Well, the summer-like weather has a lot of us thinking about getting our gardens growing, but one local farm keeps the growing going all year round. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Urban Farms in Victoria. How are they able to harvest all year?
Well, it's pretty simple. That's because of the way they're growing things. And get this, they're growing right here in the middle of the city, not out on some sprawling farm. Anthony Cagiola is one of the co-founders of Asheville Urban Farms, and this is just an interesting approach to sustainable farming. You do hydroponics?
Absolutely. Everything's hydroponics here.
And people hear that and they go, what? You know, you're growing in water? How's that work? But we're here at some examples of what goes on. So how do you do this?
Well, hydroponics works. So how to make the water work for you in your planting. This is an example of a deep water raft. Oh, okay. So the plant actually floats in a non-harmful foam. Okay. It sits in reconstituted bark, which provides a wick.
So that's the starting point. I put a seed in there?
Put a seed in here. Then you'll put it into this Ned pot with the hydrocorn, which is kerned clay, and that gives stability to the plant, and the plant's roots will grow down. So when you look at the root base,
look what's under here.
There are your roots.
That's where all the growth, the nutrient gathering, the sustaining of that plant is going on. A couple other ways that you do this here, real quickly.
This is an ebb and flow system.
Ebb and flow down here.
So the nutrients, the water, the air, we super aerate to make sure we don't go anaerobic. The water will fill up here. It'll come over the fall here, and then it'll drain back down. So it ebbs and floods, or ebbs and flows.
All right, well, this is just a couple of the ways that they grow things here. Coming up, though, we're going to go into the nursery where the babies are. That's right, the starting point, and see what's growing on just around the bend here. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
A special approach to farming gives us a special look at the growth cycle. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at the Asheville Urban Farms. In Victoria, they are skipping the soil but seeing great harvests.
Yeah, they are. These plants are not put into soil here. It's a hydroponic farm, and it's amazing how it works. Anthony Cagiola is one of the co-founders, and we were talking earlier, you showed us some of the ways that hydroponics work. We are in the nursery here. This is where the little seeds come to life and start their growth. What kind of growth program's going on here? What approach to hydroponics?
Well, this is the seeding part. So this is an ebb and flow. The water, the nutrients, the super aerated water will flow through. It comes through and gets the bark, which wicks up the moisture and the nutrients, and it allows the seed.
Now this is kale that's growing here. You also have some herbs growing on the other side, some cilantro. We were talking about this. This program is really an interesting approach to sustainable farming and so on. And what is the reaction you get from people when you talk about this?
Dumbfounded a little bit, probably. It's a community-based farm, so this is a supplement to the farming solution. Obviously, we're not affected by weather. As you know, we've had a lot of strange weather this winter, very difficult for a plant outside. So basically, it's just kind of a guarantee supply of produce.
And you mentioned that this is a community-based farm. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to talk about how this operation here reaches out and impacts lives well beyond what shows up on the plate. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Well, the wild weather we could see today is not a worry for folks at one local farm. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Urban Farms in Victoria. Why don't they track the forecast as closely there?
Because it doesn't matter what's going on outside, the growing is going on inside. This is a roughly 10,000 square foot operation here, right off Amboy Road in Asheville, not out in the middle of the countryside. And look at these basil plants. Aren't they beautiful? They're thriving here. They've been growing like this all year round. Anthony Cagiola is one of the co-founders here. What is the name of this type of hydroponic growth?
It's an NFT, nutrient film technique.
And this is getting them, can I pick this up and show them the roots?
Yeah.
You had one you were showing me here.
Look,
the roots are down here in this yummy tea, if you will, of nutrients.
Aerated water, and it flows naturally. So this is the high end. The water comes out here and it goes down into the reservoir.
And I have to ask you, what's this back here? Because this looks like the inside of a dryer drum. Like I throw my clothes in there and dry it, but that's not what's going on here.
This is how you would grow food if you're on your way to Mars.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very space age. So this essentially is your light source. It acts as literally the sun, and the plant are planets, and it rotates in 1 hour. It'll do a complete rotation. So the plant is always bending to the light.
Nice.
So you get a much healthier leaf. They're
Is that
dormant.
part of why your growth cycle is so much faster here too?
Absolutely, yeah. We are controlling all the essential elements of growth.
Quickly, I want to talk about this because you have a history in the Army. You're one of our veterans, and you actually helped people. That your business now helps people in countries where growing situations aren't optimum to use something like this, right?
Absolutely. We did a lot of work in the Middle East where you have high evaporation, you have poor water quality, poor water tables. So because we use 90% less water, then it's easier to source that water and not to lose that water.
Very interesting. And you know what? This looks so good. Coming up in our next half hour, I'm going to let you know some of the local restaurants where you can get a taste of this hydroponically grown, delicious produce. That's coming up next. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Well, early spring, and it's already harvest season at one local farm. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at Asheville Urban Farms. And Vic, you're at a farm, but it's not out in the country.
Nope, right here in the city, and that's the whole idea behind the Asheville Urban Farms. Now we're in one of the growing areas here in this roughly 10,000 square foot growth operation here. If you notice over there, it's kind of dark. Don't be too loud. They're sleeping. It's nighttime for them. But over here, well, the sun is up and Anthony Caggiola is busy. He's actually taking care of some of the plants here. You're one of the co-founders, and we were talking about just how much of a difference in approach to growth there is. You don't have to worry about the weather because you're controlling it inside, and you don't. This is hydroponic, but you're not using a ton of water.
Absolutely, we're using about 90% less water for the same amount of yield.
But it's running the nutrients through underneath these plants, right?
The only water we lose is in transformation through the plant, so it comes back down to the reservoir. It's where the nutrient base is. We re-aerate the water, we bring the water back up, and it flows back through the system to the plant.
Why did you all decide to take a big building in the middle of downtown Asheville area and turn it into a farm?
Sounds like a funny story. One of those conversations we had in Baghdad.
In Baghdad, when you served in the Army?
No, I was actually over there helping reestablish farming.
So after the fact, okay.
Yeah, after the war. So kind of from swords to plow type thing. So.
And this is really a great sustainable way to grow for communities that are in places like, deserts or extreme weather conditions. And you say it's called a food emergency status, which is where they don't know where the next meal is coming from, right?
Absolutely. And they're looking at the stability of the country. So if anything were to happen, abnormal weather, their economy destabilizes, their people are at severe risk, particularly because of the amount of importing of the distance they're bringing their food in. So by teaching their people how to grow food and to re-establish their agricultural community and grow where the conditions are tough but you can grow indoors, it solves a lot of problems.
It does solve a lot of problems. And we are in a better situation as far as our growing abilities, but if you want to try some of this great food like the chard over here, the basil and so on, it's going out to local restaurants like Strata, Posana, Tupelo Honey, the list goes on and on. You can find out all about it at our website, WLOS.com. We've got a link to Asheville Urban Farms. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.